How to open a U.S. bank account without visiting the U.S. Hi, everyone. My name is James Baker, and today I'm going to answer that question for you. I'm going to explain how the U.S. banking system works in brief, because I just did some other videos on it, which are a little more detailed. And now I want to tell you in this video the ways and the options that you have for opening U.S. bank accounts without traveling, because many of you don't have visas, okay? Stay to the end, because there's no fluff in this. It's all information that's useful to you. So stay to the end, because I got some good stuff at the end. And let's get to it. So you're not from the US, and let's say you're from Mexico, let's say you're from Zimbabwe or China, who knows? You can be from anywhere. And you want a bank account in US dollars. You want a US bank account. You want to diversify your assets. You want to receive payments in the US, whatever you want a US bank account. And those are all great reasons to have one. I have many US bank accounts. I get it. It's really easy. I send my money wherever I want. I receive whatever money. I don't have to tell the banks anything. It's generally extremely easy and convenient to have a US bank account. So if you don't have a visa and you can't come to the US and open one in person, or maybe you live in Zimbabwe and it's really far, or China, it's even farther, and you don't want to come just to open a bank account, and especially if you come and you have an unfortunate trip and you can't even open an account, so you want to say, hey, Jim, let's just open one remotely. So I'll tell you the options and what we generally do for our clients. So opening personal accounts remotely is extremely difficult. The only way you can really do this is if you have relationships with, you're investing a serious amount of money, or you have relationships with different foreign branches of US banks. There's still some HSBC banks, still some Citibanks, some banks that are in the US and in other countries, national banks around the world that you can go to and open a US account. It's not easy, but that's kind of the only way to open a personal account, correctly. There's, I guess, two ways. That's the first way, and the most legit way is to find a foreign branch of a US bank and go in person and apply to open a US account. The other way is to, I guess, find someone who can bribe a banker to apply for an account and say that you were there when you really weren't. Obviously, the bankers in the US can just, someone else can go in and fill out the information, say you're that person, as long as they have all the documentation and everything. I wouldn't do this, just because the bank could get in trouble. They can close your account at any time, and if you're trusting people who are breaking the rules. So I wouldn't personally do that, and it's not worth it, because there's better solutions for business accounts. So personal, not very many options, but for business accounts, we have better solutions, and I'll tell you exactly what we do to help our clients open accounts when they really need them. And with businesses, you can open US LLCs in the US, and they won't be subject to US taxation, because they're pass-through entities. And if you own it and you live outside the US and you don't travel to the US or work in the US, you don't have to actually pay taxes on that income. So, it's a cool asset to have, because that will allow you first to try and open online bank accounts. Online banks don't work for everyone. They have countries that they won't work with, but they do work with most countries, the majority of countries. The banks are great. Mercury Bank, Relay 5, there's literally more fintech banks out there every day. And how these banks work is they're tech platforms built on top of historical banks. They're plugged into like actual licensed banks. And the platforms and the things you see marketed are really just like marketing, like software companies. And the people who technically actually hold your money are the actual banks. I'm not an expert in that. I did get licensed in anti-money laundering at one time in life a couple of years ago, so I did learn a little bit about this. But that's my understanding of that process. And at the end of the day, I keep money in these accounts in these banks. I use these banks. I trust them. I'm going. I have a consultation. No, like a presentation with Relay 5. I think next week, where I'm going to be doing an interview with them. And I enjoy these banks. They're great. There's no fees. Generally, you can send money all over the world. They don't charge you for wires. You get a debit card. You can spend your own country, and it's a great option. And instead of traveling to the US, you can open the account online. You can open the business online. We can help you with all of it, make it really easy for you. Or you can keep watching videos, because I talk about this in all the videos, all this kind of stuff. But you can do that. It's a great option. So that's my favorite way to open a US bank account without visiting the US. The second way, let's say you want a Bank of America account, or you want a Chase account, or a Truist account, or an account at a national bank that has physical presence. And more importantly, for my Venezuelan friends, it has Zelle, which is a bank-to-bank transfer mechanism that's only really accessible from physical banks. Online banks don't have Zelle integration. If they did, it would explode. So these physical banks, the only way to open those accounts is in person. However, if we open a company, an LLC, and we appoint a manager to that LLC, that manager will have authorization to go into the bank and open an account on behalf of the LLC. It's something I don't like to do personally. I have a team of people of confidence that I've worked with over the years. I've worked with a couple of different people. I've never had an issue, and I'm always very transparent with my clients, because at the end of the day, if you go this route, there's another person who technically has access to the account. You can always take the person off, but you have to generally come in person to do that. But it's a great short-term fix to open a bank account, especially if you're working with attorneys and advisors and people who can do it from a professional standpoint. The people I work with do this full time. They're dedicated and committed to this. We know who they are, and we have all their information. And we've never had any issues, and the accounts are great. At Truist Bank specifically, you can get a debit card with your name on it, even though you didn't go to the bank to open the account. Chase and Bank of America will have the debit cards with the name of the person who is the manager, but you can actually at Truist Bank get your own access to the account, get control of the account, and really do it as safe as possible, and have a debit card in your own name. So that's why I recommend Truist often after spending a lot of time doing all this stuff. But that's how you do it. Let's say your dad lives in the U.S. I have a client right now. Her father lives in the U.S. and she lives in Venezuela, and she can't travel to the U.S. or have time. So she's going to make her father the manager. He's going to go into the bank with the documents we give him, and he's going to open the account. We made the appointment for him. We know it'll work. We know what documents he needs, and we're going to give him all the documents and all the stuff. Obviously, you need your proof of address. You need your U.S. phone number. You need the company documents, the operating agreement with the manager appointment. You need all of that stuff. It's not super easy, but there it is. You have to do it the right way. So in summary, there are a number of ways to open a U.S. bank account without visiting the U.S. Number one, find a foreign branch of a U.S. bank. Number two, pay some shady banker under the table. I mean, it's an option you have. It's not a good option. I wouldn't do it. And those are for personal accounts. Option number three is to open a U.S. company and use an online bank. And then option four is open a U.S. company and appoint a manager to open the account on your behalf. So, option 3 or 4 are the best. Option 1 is difficult, and option 2 is ridiculous. I shouldn't even made that an option. But that's really how it is. If you need help with this, or you want to open a U.S. account, and you don't want to wait or figure this out because it takes a long time and it is very complicated, I would recommend you schedule a call with the links below. And please let me know your experiences with this. Comment below. I'd love to hear how you guys are doing this and what experiences you have with all this, because it's what I talk about every day. And a lot of this is experiential, and it's all handled differently by the different institutions, and the laws change and the rules change all the time. So I have to be on my toes. So let me know what your experiences are, and I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for the like and subscribe. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. And I want to share some things I have to offer you. If you're looking for help expanding to the US or fixing a tax problem, the quickest way to contact us is to schedule a free call in the description below, or visiting jamesbakercpa.com/schedule. If you want to skip the line and speak with me directly, there's also a link in the description to schedule a call with me, which is another great option. I encourage you to join our Telegram and Discord groups, because in there we're announcing when I'm going live. I'm participating. I'm answering questions in real time. It's all free, and it's a quick community to engage with other entrepreneurs and people like yourself who are international and learning about this stuff. And I think it's a really valuable place to be in. At the end of the day, if you just subscribe and see me on the next video, that works too. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.